It's full, man.
Welcome, Brew Ballers, and welcome to another edition of Basketball and Brews. I'm your host, Travis, and with me today we have out in Detroit my brother, Eugene, a.k.a. Jump Kick over there. How you doing, man?
I'm good. What's going on?
Oh, so we just know a lot of stuff going on in the NBA world, and I want to know before we get to that, what are you drinking? Because we're going to run straight through this stuff.
Yeah, I got the Bud Light Lime-A-Rita.
Yeah, man, you got that thought juice?
Man, I was a little skeptical about trying it, man. I was like, this is a little bit.
That thought juice.
But you know what? I was like, you know what? Let me just grab something right quick, man. Keep it moving.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
But
Then it's bad enough it's Bud Light Lime, and then you got to throw the Rita part in there. It's just all bad, man. All right, Drew.
It's kind of good though. This is my first time having it. It's kind of good though.
Hey, this is being recorded. All right, down there in Miami, leader of Heat Nation. We just finished watching. We started a little late because we were holding up and watching this Brooklyn Miami Game 5, and so he's probably gonna have a permanent smile on his face through this whole broadcast. But what's up, Drew? My cousin. What's up, man?
What's up, cuz?
How are you enjoying this down there?
I'm on a high right now. I'm on a natural high right now. My Heat just beat the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah. Sent their ass home. Sent them fishing. We're back in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, you guys
4 games away, so,
Oh, so what are you drinking?
What happens, man? I'm happy,
What are you
though.
celebrating, what are you drinking?
Oh, well, I'm talking bad about my other cuz, Gene, over there, but I'm doing just as bad tonight. With this Johnny Appleseed, hard apple cider. It's actually pretty good though. If y'all want, I can go get another beer. I got something different, but
I can't say nothing, man.
Mad light. This is Mad light right now.
Travis, I do not know where to go to get that exotic stuff that you drinking on, man. I'm not going out to the boondocks.
No, you're going to the boondocks, man. I'm gonna send you. Matter of fact, this is what we're gonna do. I'm going to make sure I try and convert these dudes into beer drinkers. Okay, I'm gonna find some beers that I can give to them, and they be like, yes, I can grow hair on my balls, or whatever the case may be. I gotta get them to be beer drinkers. I can't have this going on. I can't have it. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys what I got in the cooler like we always do. I'm going to open up the cooler. All right, first up, New Belgium. They're very good. This is their summer Helles. I've never had it. It just came out because the summer, every fall, winter, summer, they all start kicking out new beers for that particular season. And right now, everybody's kicking out their summer beers. So I got a lot of summer beers right now. So right now, it's the New Belgium Summer Heels I got in there. Dos Equis Azul. This is leftover from the that's just leftover from Cinco de Mayo a couple weeks ago. So the Sol, same thing, leftover. So Mexican beer. Cerveza. All right, another summer beer. Blue Moon Summer Honey Wheat. Now you guys can swallow that. Blue Moon is very good.
I know about Blue Moon.
Yeah, I like Blue Moon.
Yeah, those are my go-to guys when I just want something cool and relaxing. I haven't had Harpoon Summer Beer, so I'm probably gonna try that very soon. Put up a review on that on Brew Ball. I actually like this. I think you guys will too. This Blossom Cream Ale. It's actually pretty good. It has a lot of. This is very sweet, so you guys probably will like it. I got one. I wanted to try it, so picked up one. And you know what? I actually was against this, but I actually like it now. Sweet baby Jesus.
Sweet baby Jesus.
What does that taste like? What is that?
It's chocolate and peanut butter porter. All right. But here's the kick. A lot of these beers you have to drink out of a cup so you can really get the flavor. When I first drank it, I drank it straight out of the bottle and I didn't like it. And then I had a friend of mine, he had drank it out of the cup and he's like, man, it tastes better out of the cup. And just try it. It tastes pretty good. And I tried it. I actually like it now. It's one of my drinks, my beers I try and grab all the time. All right, so I'm going to stick with, you know what, I'm going to stick with my Blue Moon Summer Honey Ale. You know, I'm going to stick with that. Pop the top real quick. And you know what, even though this is the can one, I'm going to use this right now. I don't get drunk. I get awesome. So I'm just going to use that right now. And let's get to the first topic, man. Let's just get it right out the way. We're going to start with Mark Jackson and the Golden State Warriors. We're going to couple this with Steve Kerr because they just made an announcement. Steve Kerr signed with them for I think it was a 5-year deal. So we're going to talk about that too. So, Gene, what are your thoughts okay, are you familiar with everything that happened with the Mark Jackson stuff that you heard about Brian Scalabrine? You heard about
nah.
All right, so we get
I just know
synopsis on.
I can hear myself, Travis.
Okay.
Coming from your end.
That's fine by me. I mean, I'm recording. I don't hear myself, so.
Okay.
But all right. So as far as that goes, Gene, can you? All right, let me give you a quick synopsis on it. Mark Jackson got in there. He was doing a good job. Blah blah blah. But Brian Scalabrine got kind of a big head while he was there. I'm not sure why he got the big head. From what reports have been saying, that he was walking by people allegedly not speaking for weeks that are his superiors and stuff like that, and wouldn't speak to people. And he had a direct line towards the owner. So he kind of had this thing, and then Mark Jackson fired him. You know, just kind of like let him go, and that caused a rift. Also, that was already some more tension. Then there was also there was this, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was an assistant coach. This guy was actually recording meetings, so he can report to who knows. But he would leave the room, he would leave his iPhone on in record mode, and actually record what's going on in the meeting. So he was obviously snitching or telling on somebody because nobody in the room knew that he was recording them. And this stuff got leaked out, and he got fired. And turns around, he's hired, and he's at front office with Danny Ainge and Boston Celtics. So it's all weird type of stuff. And then there was the owner didn't like the fact that Mark Jackson liked to go to a fly down to a church in L.A. That he had to go to a church in L.A. and how come you can't go to a church here? It's a lot of weird stuff that just came out about this, and that's why they said he got fired. So with that being said, what are you guys' feelings about that?
And Mark Jackson is going to get another job in the NBA. You know, he might take a year or two and, you know, go back to commentating, and we get to hear some of those crazy sayings he liked to say. So we're going to hear him do that, and then he'll probably end up back in the NBA. Actually, he might even go be in the NBA next year. I mean, because there's job openings in New York, and there's job openings in Cleveland. So you just never know. Hey, man, I wouldn't take that.
You want to play with Trey Burke? I mean,
man,
the Michigan Wolverine.
I'll be just I'll be just like Derek Harper. He retired. He didn't go to Utah. But yeah, Mark Jackson, he's gonna be okay, man. I mean, he made the Golden State Warriors relevant. They ain't been relevant since Tim Hardaway and Chris Webber played there. So
that one year when they beat when Baron Davis was there and they beat Dallas. There was an 8 seed and they beat that 1 seed.
Yeah, that's right. Who else was on the team? But see, the West, you know what? You're right about that. But you know that's going to end up being another topic. Yeah, you're right.
Drew, what you got to say about the whole Mark Jackson stuff?
I think it's messed up. Man took them to 2 straight playoff appearances, had 51 wins this season, and I guess because him and ownership didn't get along, they let him go. I hope Steve Kerr does a good job, considering he has never coached. So I don't know what they're.
Wait a minute, he did have a coaching job before.
Where?
Let me look it up.
I don't think
he was executive for Phoenix. He was an executive.
Okay, my
Phoenix,
bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
He was
That's
general
right.
manager. He was general manager for Phoenix, and he did a decent job or whatever. But coaching is a whole different animal between picking players that play good together.
Right.
That's a completely different. Day job. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, he has a good team as long as everybody come back healthy. He got Bogut and Lee and all of these other Thompson and Curry. They have a real good team. So that's a good job. But he never coached before. So I don't know I don't get what the hype was.
Neither Jason Kidd.
I understood. I understood why Phil Jackson wanted him because he played under Phil Jackson for however many years and he knows the triangle, and I know Phil wants somebody in New York that can coach a triangle. But Mark Jackson, I'm glad you brought up New York, Gene, because I think that would be a good job for Mark Jackson to go to New York now since Steve Kerr can't go there.
But you know what? In order for anybody that takes that New York job to be successful, they gonna need a point guard. Period. If I was Phil Jackson, I would do whatever I could to get Rondo to be the point guard. Because not only will Rondo be a point guard, he'll be somewhat of a leader for them also.
Right, but that's a GM job. That's not a coach job. So that's a job of Phil Jackson. Mark Jackson just has to coach the team and be a good coach, which he is. We know he is.
That's just all right. I mean, but if he goes to New York, the way New York is right now, New York is dysfunctional.
I'm not saying it's the best job in the world. I'm just saying that he's from there, and he's one of the he's a coach on the market that has probably the best resume out there.
Well, you know
Unless
what?
You're gonna go get a coach from college.
He will be able to turn things around there in New York, I think. But also the best thing, he's in the East. He'll be in the East if he goes to New York. And the East sucks. It is not going to be hard to turn it around in the East. It's just disgusting to look at the teams in the East. It really is, man. It's almost depressing, honestly. It really is. It's like Miami is like the king of the losers. That's what they are. They the king of the losers.
Actually,
not saying Miami losers.
The whole NBA though, since they are the champions, they will be considered to be.
We are the champs, buddy.
Well, let me ask you this. Well, Travis, before you switch the subject, let me ask you this: if you put Miami in the West, how would you think they would do?
They're the third best team in the West. You put them in the West.
Okay, now you said they're the third, but the thing is about the West though. That eighth seed ain't technically a normal eighth seed. The eighth seed in the West might be a top 2 in the East.
It'll be a top 4.
Okay, wait.
They'll be
by record, are you asking me what I do? I think they'll be the third best team as far as record.
I don't mean by record. No. I don't. No, I mean team, not by the record. No, I'm not saying the record. I mean, if you take the Miami Heat and you put
Miami Heat will win. They would come out of the West.
You think they would win if they was in the West?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I think they can still come out of the West.
I don't think so.
It'll be a lot harder, but
that's my thing. That's my thing. It'll be a lot harder. And look at how Miami's playing right now. They only playing with 5 people. In the playoffs, you need to at least have 8 people playing. And they playing with 5. They playing with 5 people right now.
We're playing with like
somebody
8.
That's 5 people got to be on the floor. They got to have somebody else.
No. I'm saying like 5 reliable people that's gonna come in and contribute. They playing with 5 people I'm saying they playing with 5 people that's gonna contribute. You need to have other people to come in and play. They don't really got that. On the East is okay because you gonna blow through that garbage. You gonna blow through that garbage like the wind. That's not gonna be a problem. But if you put that on the West, it's a different story.
All right, let's get back on topic because I know we're gonna keep jumping back to Miami for some weird reason.
I'm gonna try not to.
Yeah, we did.
Is it inevitable that the Miami Heat will meet the San Antonio Spurs in a rematch in the NBA Finals? Is it inevitable? Is there?
It looks like it, and it looks like the Spurs. It looked like the Spurs on a mission too. I wouldn't want to play the Spurs if I was Miami because they team look a lot better than Miami. They look like they still pissed from that game 6 last year. That's what they look like. Tony Parker, and
there was a game 7, and
yeah, but that
missed a layup. There was a chance for them to win it. Like
he missed the funny.
Yeah,
but you don't lose like that. You don't. But you don't. But you don't lose like that in the finals. You don't know. That was the biggest collapse. I've never seen a team collapse like that in the finals. So that's why people are always going to talk about that game 6. That's never happened before. At least I don't remember seeing nothing like that ever happen before. So, of course, that game 6, when you up that much, and what was like a minute 30, you up by how many points?
No,
like 6?
It was 26 seconds with 5. They were about 5 with 26 seconds left.
Yeah. That don't happen. Only other team I seen something like that happen was when Reggie Miller topped the New York Knicks when he scored them points in them seconds.
And that wasn't in the finals either. I mean, like
right. Yeah, that's the only other time. That's it. It don't. That stuff don't happen. A collapse like that just don't happen.
Y'all gonna stop talking.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Drew.
Sorry.
Yeah, but stuff like that don't happen, man. So I think San Antonio's on the mission, and honestly, I think they get a raw deal. They really do get a raw deal. Nobody ever talks about them like the San Antonio Spurs. Nobody ever talks about them and feared them. And like I text Trevor, I said, man, it's been 14 years, and they have 4 championships, and nobody ever talks about them as a legacy. They have been there the whole time. Out of 14, who has been around for 14 years in the playoffs in the NBA?
Well,
Nobody.
That is a valid point. We'll discuss that at another point. Drew, go ahead before Gene starts talking again.
Oh, you don't stop cutting me off, bro. He said is it inevitable that the San Antonio Spurs and Miami meet up?
Oh, I think so. I think that's what's going to happen unless Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant pull a rabbit out their hat or something. If they get past the Clippers, it probably is. It probably is inevitable. I mean, they are playing like madmen on a mission. You're right. San Antonio they're just so fundamental, and I think where San Antonio doesn't get credit is like, okay, they play great. They're like the Utah Jazz. They lack that real celebrity star power. Like Karl Malone and John Stockton. They were all-stars or superstars based on how they played, but they lacked that personality that the media loved. And all of these other teams have that. The Clippers have it. Golden State had it. Miami definitely has it.
You don't think Kevin Durant
has it?
You don't think Kevin Durant is that type of person? As many commercials as he in?
San Antonio Spurs, right? He's saying the Spurs.
I'm saying the San Antonio Spurs don't have that star power because Tony Parker, you don't see Tony Parker in no commercials. Tim Duncan don't never have no haircut. He don't talk to nobody.
Man, the man's going through a divorce. Leave him alone, man.
Man, I honestly think that Tim Duncan is the most boring NBA superstar ever in the history of NBA superstars. Like, what NBA superstar gets cheated on by his wife?
A lot.
Like,
Shaq?
just
Shaq.
Well, Shaq she was returning a favor.
If you return,
you
hear
because Kobe snitched.
The boy down in Indiana, big dude, Roy Hibbert. If you listen to the rumors, Roy Hibbert got cheated on. That's why he's
Hey,
messed
Travis,
up in the brain.
Travis,
But yeah, go ahead.
Travis,
Dennis
Travis.
Rodman.
Let Chris finish. He about to say something. I want to talk about it.
Okay.
He about to say something right now. Go ahead, finish talking.
About Tim Duncan being a boring ass superstar?
No. We was talking about Shaq, and you was about to bring up Kobe.
I was bring up Kobe snitching on him.
Go ahead. There you go. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Kobe. Everybody keeps saying that like Kobe ran the TMZ and announced that. That's not how that happened. He was in a regular. He was in a regular conversation with the police officer, and he was talking about the situation that he just had, and he just said, "Man, I should have just paid her off like Shaq do." Nah. That's that cop that went.
Remain silent. Anything you say.
No. This is after. No. This is not.
What is that?
This is. That is not that. He was not being interrogated at that time. From what I read, he was not being interrogated at that time. This was something that he was outside of his interrogation and everything about the rape. He was just having he was just chilling. And he had a conversation with the cop, and he said, and it was that cop that went and said that, or spread the rumors or told the next person, whatever. So when people say he snitched on Shaq, that's like kind of messed up to keep saying that when that's not how that happened.
You defend the Laker Kobe Bryant. What a shock.
but listen, he's right. He's right. It wasn't like he necessarily snitched on Shaq or whatever, but when you are who you are, you need to know who you are. And Kobe needed to recognize who he was. Kobe needed to recognize, or he kind of, I guess, forgot who he was in that moment and who he was talking about in that moment.
Man, and all them chicks, man, they know that, man. You gotta be a fool if you thinking that your husband is being faithful to you and they in the NBA. 20-something-year-old dudes.
AC Green.
But that's not my point,
though.
My point was that
there's no way we can improve that.
Tim Duncan got cheated on by his wife, and Tim Duncan, like, he's just so boring. Like,
hey,
he's just so boring.
That's probably why he balling so hard right now, man. That's probably why.
But that was like that was just my original point. That was my original point. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying he pissed off. He ain't getting none. You know, hey, don't they stop boxers from having sex? Don't they stop?
Stop that. Let's be realistic.
Women make you weak in the knees.
About it. All these bras gonna be running to you. It's gonna be easy for Tim Duncan. You just walk into a club and just say, "Come here, I'm boring. I'm Tim Duncan."
Yeah.
Fillet me. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, man. But that's just my original point.
I kind of want to see that, honestly, man, because I think just looking at how San Antonio's playing right now, and looking at the type of competition they have compared to the type of competition that Miami Heat have, I think it's gonna be a good series, man. I mean, like I said at the beginning of this, I thought Miami's gonna win it all, but as the playoffs got going and I started watching some of the games and these teams, I think that San Antonio might take it too. If they play, they most definitely going to another Game 7, and it ain't gonna be no sweep. Like Miami, they go sweep through whether it's the Wizards or Pacers. That's the only thing I want to see. That one of the teams might win one, but other than that, it's gonna be boring. You know, so
no matter who Miami play in the finals, it ain't gonna be no sweep.
Yeah, right.
I don't think it would be no.
The Blazers come back and make it to the finals, but even then, I don't think they'll sweep them.
Nah, Miami's not sweeping nobody from the West.
That'll be a boring series. I wouldn't even want to see that.
What?
I mean, like
the closest.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see that.
Are you crazy?
The closest Miami came to sweeping anybody was OKC. OKC won. That first championship of not last year, but the year before, OKC won that first game and Miami ran off 4 straight on them. After that,
yeah,
that was 5-game series.
I got to talk to you the Portland Miami series. What makes you think that? Because honestly, Miami right now, anybody come out the West, there's going to be a good point guard, which is their weakness, and they both are all of them, except with the exception of OKC. Excuse me, has a low post presence, which they
Scoring
can't
big
stop.
man.
Yeah, which they can't stop.
Right.
So what makes you think that would be a boring series? Maybe because no star involved. Yes, but
No, that's not why. No, that's not why. Because look, I mean, they not even providing any type of series. Is that a series that they going against San Antonio? Is that really?
San
You really
Antonio
want to see
is
that?
on a whole nother level, man. Like I don't understand
Right,
what's happening.
right. So that's what I'm saying.
Flipped.
So what makes you think it's gonna be any? What makes you think it's gonna be any different seeing Miami play Portland? It ain't.
I think the
It's
Spurs
gonna be
are
worse.
hungry right now. I think the Spurs are actually hungry from last season. I don't think that's a knock against LaMarcus Aldridge and the Portland Trailblazers. It's just they're not as hungry. They're not as focused. They don't have the skills that they understand the stage they're on. Miami right now looks like they're just lackadaisical walking through there. They don't know what to do. Really,
You know what they look like? They look like how they
burnt out.
They look like how they look when they played Dallas that first year. That's what they look like to me. They
No.
think that they just gonna be able. Yeah, they do. They look like they're gonna walk through it, and it's not gonna be an issue. They thought that title was gonna be handed to them. You know they did. That's why.
No. I think
Chris Bosh
what
is
that
on the ground
was.
crying.
I think what that was. I think that was just like that was their first year together. So I think that was more of a chemistry thing than them thinking that things were just going to be handed to them. I don't think they thought that by far because they came back next year and things were way different. They had to really figure out like because the East has been bad for a while. Let's be honest. The East has been bad for a while, and they kind of like walked through that, and they got to Dallas, and Dallas was just a better team. Dallas just played better as a team, as a whole. You know what I mean? So
I think
anybody come.
I do agree with Gene. I think they thought that it was going to be handed to them because they were walking through there cracking jokes, and they were just it was too lax. They just had a cocky arrogance about them, and I really think
weren't they up 2-0?
2-0 or 2-1, one of them. I'm not sure whatever it was, but they had walked into Miami in Dallas thinking that they were just going to run over them or whatever the case may be. But they may have been up 2-0, but I can't remember. I think they were up 2-0 because that's what they were up 2-0 against Miami in 06, and they flipped. But anyway, I think they were arrogant. This year, honest with you, I think they're burnt out. I think they're just.
I think they're just pacing themselves. To be honest with you.
I mean, I think they're trying to. I think they're under the guise of pacing themselves. But I think the fact of the matter is that they're pacing themselves because they're mentally burnt out. Like they just have to do something to just walking through it. Go ahead, Jim.
But do you really?
Like I was saying earlier, they don't need more than 5 people playing. Michael Beasley is going to have to step up in order for them to win.
Michael Beasley they don't step up.
That's what I'm saying. They're not playing enough. They're not playing enough. They don't have enough contributors playing. That's what I'm.
Miami hasn't even really been challenged. Miami's lost one game. Miami's lost one. Do you realize that Miami's lost one game?
They lost one game, but they lost one game against Brooklyn.
They haven't played nobody. Brooklyn beat their ass 4 games straight in the regular season, and it has beat them 4-1.
But
and then they played the Bobcats before that.
They did not blow. That was still a dog fight. That was still a fight. They just won by how many points just now? If that was no problem, they should have blew them out at least by 10. Okay,
I'm not saying it's not no problem, but at the end of the day, they won. They still pulled it out, playing lackadaisical, like you're saying, against a team that beat them 4 straight times in the regular season. That match up well with them, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? That first series they had wasn't no challenge to them. They could play 5 guys against the Bobcats, and that didn't mean nothing. And you're saying they played 5 guys against Brooklyn, and they beat Brooklyn? How they just beat Brooklyn?
They didn't just dog Brooklyn though. They looked tired.
They dogged Brooklyn the first 2 games. They beat Brooklyn the first game by like 14.
But then what happened?
They beat them the second game by like 12. This last game they played them. Okay, Brooklyn played with a little bit of urgency or whatever, but
the last 3 games, Brooklyn won 1, right? And then Miami won the other 2 games by what, 2 or 3 points. It's not like they blew them up, so they're gonna need more contributors.
No, Miami beat them the first two games by double digits. Then they lost by like 12 or 14 the third game, and the last two games that they won by like it was maybe like 4 to 6 points or something like that. It was a little bit harder, but.
And you think it's gonna get easier by the time the finals are around? It's not. If they don't have more contributors, it's not.
I'm not saying it's gonna get easier. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that I don't feel like they've been super duper challenged to the point like how they will be challenged when they have to play San Antonio. I just feel like they haven't had to hit that other gear yet.
But Drew, do you think?
I don't think they can.
Problem? If they haven't hit that gear, and if they haven't hit that gear yet, they haven't hit that gear in the regular season. They haven't hit that gear in the first round. They haven't hit that gear in the second round. They're not going to hit that gear in the third round. When they get to the finals, that's going to be a problem because they're
going to be tired.
Out of sync. No, they would just be out of sync. Because if you're going from 0 to 60 and you've never been to 60 before and you start going 60 miles an hour, you're going to go across, all you've been driving 30 miles an hour, you're going to drive across the median and crash into somebody. It ain't going to be good.
I think they'll be fine. I just think they haven't had to, like, Brooklyn pushed them these last three games. Obviously that game where they lost by 14 or whatever, game 3. The last two games that they had to play against Brooklyn pushed them, and they still pulled it out because they play well together, and they make adjustments. A lot of teams don't make adjustments. That's why Portland was getting their ass blown out 3 straight games by 20 points because they're coaching. They wasn't making no adjustments. It's not that San Antonio is that much better than them. They haven't made no adjustments. These are pro teams. These teams are pros at the end of the day. And you losing in the playoffs in the second round by 20 and 22 and 24? Ain't nobody beating Miami like that. OKC and the Clippers, they're not blowing each other out by 20 points. They're playing 2-3 points, 1 point games.
But there's a difference.
I don't think San Antonio is going to do.
But there is a difference between teams with experience and teams without experience. They don't have that much experience.
True.
So when they get to the second round, it's like, wait a minute, this is even tougher game than the first round. I don't know what to do. Like they played against, especially with Styles too.
And that comes down to coaching, though.
Defensive team, and Houston is not very defensive minded, which means you're going from one trying to adjust, like you said. From a non-defensive team to a defensive team, that's pretty difficult. So, wait, matter of fact, we're way off topic now that I think about it.